So yeah, greetings everybody. We are back around the table again to treat you all to a little specialness here.
Shock and awe.
This came out of nowhere.
Yeah. We are amazed and astounded that we were able to get our hands on one of the first production runs of this guy so quickly.
Yeah.
Some major changes have been made.
Yep. One of the more notable ones, M4.
Not
Most
only
definitely.
M4, but
62. I thought he was going to say window punch.
just take the steam out of that.
Yeah, went under my sales. 62 to 64 Rockwell. So
Yep. It's a steel that Benchmade's been playing around with for quite a while now, so they definitely know how to treat it properly.
yes, and they definitely do their 62 to 64 for all of their M4.
There's been
nice.
some complaints somewhat about some of their heat treatments, but all of my experience with their M4 is it's pretty freaking awesome. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just holy shit. This is the knife they should have come out with at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Every single complaint that they don't admit to actually having,
It's
this
fixed.
is a correction of.
Well, we got lots of time to talk about the topics, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Lots of time.
Yeah, one of the other really, really nice upgrades was aluminum for the handles with a really, really, really nice texture to it.
That was a very
And-
cool thing to add.
As Joe keeps on repeating, beautiful upgrade. Beautiful
Yeah.
upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of handle upgrades,
Yeah, not
Something
only
big.
did this guy get the upgrade, but the CF-Elite Bugout.
We got other things.
Yeah,
So there.
also one of the first production waves that we are astounded and amazed that we have so quickly.
And another
we can pull some things out of some iPad screens you don't even want to know about. But
We magic, yo.
Yeah. So yeah, upgrades with this guy, and the main complaint about the bugouts in general was the stiffness of the handles. And with the carbon fiber reinforced nylon, they are definitely a lot stiffer.
Substantially more stuff.
now that's not saying you can't flex them.
No.
Yeah,
because
It's not
they still-
aluminum yet. but-
Yeah.
No, but I mean aluminum, you press hard enough, you can get some flex. But
But yeah, you can definitely feel the difference between these guys and the original handles.
in
Most
hand, doing side by side, it's evident how
Mhm.
much of an upgrade this handle material is, and I'm super excited to see it becoming
Yeah.
a thing in the Benchmade lineup.
Now, something that's also very peculiar that I noticed, first production runs of both, but with the Bailout, only 500 made.
Mhm.
Whereas the blacked out bug out does get the 1200, which has become kind of a standard for Benchmade.
Right.
Sometimes they
On
do
a launch.
1000s. Yeah, for sure. But a lot of times it is 1200. So it's very noticeable that they only did 500.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my main thought on that was just the ease of production. And the handle scales will be that.
Milling
Yeah.
the aluminum versus injection molding.
And
Yeah.
doing the anodizing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, something else that I may dabble on is the quickness to recover from a bad publicity.
No, but this is a good thing that they're
And
doing.
Maybe there was a more project in the works, having
Yes,
bug outs
I-
ready and
I
things
think
like
that's
that,
the case.
compared to a scrambling, we've got
Well,
to make things
we need to
right
fix this now.
attitude.
And I think
Yeah.
that's probably why they didn't do a black bug out at the beginning, is because they had it in the back of their head that, well, this is a material we kind of want to play with in the future, so
Well,
maybe we'll save it
They
for...
never did one in the beginning because originally they said they were never going to do one.
They did straight up say
they?
they
Yeah.
were never,
Yeah.
So this is news
Yep.
to me. So
one of the Benchmade reps that was on a Blade HQ video or something like that had said that, yeah, pretty much a black bug out was probably never going to happen.
That's why it was so prominently blue in the first rendition. It was,
interesting.
Yeah.
And then they did a Blade HQ exclusive as well as now 2020
and now they have a slightly less black version.
dropping the ball.
It is slightly less black than their regular FRA.
Yeah,
It
it has
is,
a little
yeah.
bit of a grayness to it in there from the carbon fiber.
Yeah.
But as somebody who has a lot of black knives in their collection, I kind of like that. But
Yeah.
it's just not quite pitch black.
This is the first all blacked out knife that I've wanted in the recent history.
Mhm.
I actually like that
Yeah.
thing quite substantially.
And it took me half a second to realize that the pocket clips were on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And
one
the
of-
reason for that.
One of the particular reasons is because Nigel pulled it out of the iPad and put it promptly into his pocket and said, "This one's mine now."
I mean, if you
Yeah.
pull it out of an iPad, I'm pretty sure that feels like
It's yours.
yeah.
Yeah, as
Playing.
far as these new ones go, I do kind of have plans of detantoing this one a little bit, but I am going to play around with the tanto tip for a while to see how I like it. Usually I'm not a fan of a tanto, but the length of the handle on these guys and that texture and the feel of the knife. As soon as I put it in my hand, my enthusiasm was like, let a 9 for it.
Nice.
It just was like, no, this is going to happen.
It's like, oh, so I'm burning some money today. Is
Yep.
basically what's happening.
Oh, he internally struggled for quite a while
Oh,
before
fair,
he. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about that thin M4 blade a little bit more.
Aside from this guy, that's the sliciest knife I own now.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying thing to be honest, but because that's a slicing knife. But
We have to talk about profiling because there's some other knives in your collection that could probably definitely.
Oh yeah,
contend.
if I reprofiled stuff, but like from
Out of the
factory,
factory?
edge geometry
Yeah,
from
fair
factory and stuff, yeah, that's definitely the sliciest knife that I have. And also, aside from this guy, it's the thinnest in hand that I have.
it's
Speaking of thinness,
Hmm.
No, I will say I pushed Nigel towards buying the Bailout because he has several things on his wish list, and then this made a major speed bump in his road.
Yep.
But it fills that gap of something that you don't own.
Yeah, definitely it
Between a
does.
Tanto,
No
a
kidding.
Slim, a
Yeah.
Workhorsey.
Yeah, I really enjoy that they got the length in there that it still fits my hand. Like technically, I'm still kind of up on that hump and don't really fit in the handle, but it's still really, really comfy.
that's the
still
yeah.
fairly
Yeah.
neutral.
Now the big question for me is at the moderate price increase that this is from say the 940, would you consider this a 940 killer? Because
For the style of it, not necessarily.
Different applications, but
Yeah.
yes, I can see where you would draw some comparisons with.
As
But
far
I think
as
different markets.
yeah, I think as far as the functionality, it has the potential, but as far as the aesthetics and personal taste, no, it won't compete.
Nobody's
I
talking
agree,
about knives.
but I wanted to hear you say it since
Yeah.
you own it now.
Well, something I need to hear Nigel say is about him bitching about the Bailout being an pointed grip all the time in the original video. And now we're talking about the Bailout that Nigel owns.
Yeah, and honestly, that is pretty much the only complaint I have is
Right.
the ramp on the backside and how it does tend to lean into that pointed grip. But it's a subtle enough ramp and a subtle enough hump that it's really easy to get over top of that, so you can still.
And that probably getting
Purchase.
over top of that probably locks your pinky in a little bit better because it pushes your hand forward a little
Yeah.
bit, right? So,
So a minor compromise for you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's-
like honestly, especially after we did do the review of the original version of the Bailout, I didn't think I would ever actually get one.
yeah. That's hilarious.
And that handle material, it just
now something
Yeah.
I'm personally noticing, and we talked about it before recording, is the window punch. And I do have a tendency to put things into the palm of my hand to close them with an access lock. And I did notice that window punch is a little bit pokey in there.
yep.
You can remove that, it looks like completely, and still reassemble the knife without it. Now, structurally,
Taking
I
out
do not
that
know.
back spacer entirely.
So I would love to see someone come out with, or if there is some sort of just single barrel spacer that you can put in replacement of that. If you own an original Bailout and you want to make this slightly lighter, not quite as window punchy.
You could probably ask Benchmade for another
Yeah.
barrel spacer there and then just replace it in the middle if you really didn't want it.
Because there is 2 screws that go in. So if it's
Yeah.
compatible with that, would
Yep.
be super cool to see. But I did also notice that it might change your grip a little bit when you're holding the knife because that extra little aluminum spacer does give you a little bit back.
I honestly don't mind that, dude. Like it is a little pokey, but
That's because your hands are made of death. You're just
Okay,
like,
fair.
I don't mind this red hot coal. It doesn't burn me that much. I'm going to give it a 7 on ergonomic execution.
so what you're telling people is that you shouldn't trust the word I say, basically. But,
Pretty much.
oh.
There's one category I constantly question.
I'm going to be honest.
You got 9 categories. There's just one that I do not give you time of day for.
Fair, I guess.
For me, it's funny because it actually lands more on the corner of that backspacer.
Yeah.
And I don't get that point at all in a regular grip. I actually have to like force
See,
it.
for me, it's a gentle poking as well. It's
Yeah.
not really all that intense.
Which is funny because only certain size knives do that for me. Longer Contigos, they sit flat in my hand and across the palm.
Yeah.
And shorter, like valets, want to bite me because they're too deep inside the
Yeah.
palm.
Yeah.
And I will say that along with how subtle that ramp is, same thing with the glass spike is it's subtle enough that yes, you can notice notice it, but it's not obtrusive.
Yeah.
Benchmade has always done a really good job with their glass.
Check out a
Yeah.
CRKT rescue knife with a
jeez.
quarter-inch of spike hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
holy
fine.
hell.
I'll put that in my pocket all day. Don't worry about
It's
it.
like, no,
yeah.
you could
I was
break
going to say Microtech. but-
That too, yeah.
Yes, both
Yeah.
of them. But like with the CRKT, it's like you could break glass for 40 years and then resharpen the thing and then go back to it.
I have to jump back on the CF-Elite train
Right,
for a
right.
second.
Most definitely.
Benchmade did announce this new handle material called CF-Elite. Lighter. It's supposed to be, I believe. Now, don't quote me on that. We will stat up a number plus or minus. But I've heard not only stronger, 5 times, 10 times, whatever it may be, stronger, but also lighter than the poly handles.
That's
Carbon
pretty
fiber
cool.
is stronger than glass fiber, like
Yeah.
right? Or fiberglass, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, no, the fact that the bug out has just gotten lighter. What is Spectacles going to do now?
And stronger.
Yeah.
So you've got competitors coming out with lightweight models that compare with the same weight as an Osborne.
Shouldn't exist.
And you've got other things that are making the lightweight game, and they're like, I think we can do it better. Like it's
And then they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing it better,
Yeah.
So this is a major plus for Benchmade as a company, just knowing that they saw what was happening and they addressed it directly as a standard production run as opposed to a limited.
okay,
Yeah.
that segues into my slag.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
the slag on it being that at no point in time has Benchmade recognized that there was a mistake made with the original bug out to the
I made
point where
that
they're
joke.
defending.
You
Yeah.
can't say, you
They're
can't admit that
defending
you're
their
wrong.
cause on soft being able to resharpen and plastic handles keeping with the bug out themes and this, that, and the other.
Prying with a plastic handled knife was a bad idea from the get go. I'm
And
just
then-
going to say that.
And then you scramble. I don't think prying with a 64 Rockwell M4 blade is the best idea ever.
no, but slightly better than a plastic. Yeah.
But then you scramble to make 500
Do a
of
blade swap.
these. I've talked to Calvin already. And if Calvin's watching this, he'll chuckle because we've already had this conversation.
Oh,
But
jeez.
he's got some aftermarket stuff. And to put the aluminum with a soft 3V that you can pry 2x4s apart with some aftermod M4 makes for 2 Class C bug out or
Yeah, it
bailouts.
That absolutely does.
Yep.
But having said that, yes, nowhere along the way will they actually take credit
No.
for, and then they scramble to make
This is
500.
This is the best thing the best approximation of an apology I think we're gonna get.
We're not
Yeah.
wrong, but here's the thing you guys asked for.
And we love that they asked for it. And I've seen other political views as far as company choices and whatever they may be, and I try not to make that influence a good knife from a good knife.
Yes.
And a lot of people do have those politics, let it get in their way to the point where they will not support a company that because of those ethics. And you guys do what you
Yep.
want to do. I can
Yeah.
understand that. But at the same time, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to look at products for what they are. And it makes me
We have to in this context.
Well,
neutralize
absolutely.
a spectrum on things that
Yeah.
you wouldn't give time of day for otherwise. And you might be missing out on some cool stuff because of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And at the price point, looking within Benchmade's catalog, this is a pretty reasonable offering.
Yeah, it is.
Given what they're giving you.
Dear Lord, they just came out with a limited edition 20 CV that the price was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've got a beefier, better product, arguably better in every way at a cheaper price point.
Yeah, the M4 done at a really nice Rockwell. It's not only 3D machined for the aluminum, but it's also contoured. The anodizing on it, yeah, it's really nice for the price point.
So you dabbled on, and we've got time, so we will talk about it some more. You're really good heat treatment. You bet, yeah. And
Yes.
The biggest complaint with the original.
okay, but here's another. They have more experience with M4, so I'm hoping
Yep.
they got it right. But the big controversy with their 3V last year was their supposed heat treatment was supposed to be not too bad. Their
57 to
real-
59.
which
Was
is
the original.
which is nothing crazy for 3V, but it's acceptable. Now, what things were independently tested at and where the controversy arose
55.
was a completely
Now-
different thing.
That
Yeah.
being said, Benchmade has done M4 for a very long time. There have people who have tested their Contigos and their
I did, Al. Yeah, you bet.
yeah.
So I'm very curious to see if the controversy train will go onto this guy and some independent testing will
There's
be
gonna
done
Yeah.
just to prove
Yeah.
both sides of the story somewhere along
I
the
think
way.
there's going to be somebody bitter enough about the last release
I'd be
to
surprised
go
if there
in.
wasn't.
Exactly. Somebody will test this, and we will hear some anecdotal evidence that,
I
hey, this is
posted
what this is.
a photo of this. I actually reposted a photo that you took of
Yeah.
this. and actually had one of the comments that was made. What's the rock wall on the M4? Was the very first question.
What is it supposed to be, or what is it actually? Like, it's,
Yeah.
But it was a question that was asked. It is definitely a question that is going to come up.
And all of this, me being devil's advocate, also comes from a guy who owns 2 blades with M4 from Benchmade and will
They
attest to
do
the
good
fact
M4.
performing great. I think my Contigo is still a little bit better than my Super Freak, just to throw it out there.
Yep,
but at
yep.
the same time,
62 to 64.
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
It's out there. I also put stupid edges on my Super Freak,
Yeah.
so my geometry might come into play on that.
Just a touch.
But at the same time, I'm very curious to see what the story of the bailouts continue
Yeah.
in 2020.
Yes.
Sure.
For something to go from such a reviled
Oh,
object.
what a
to-
hell of a new release, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Good way to start the new year.
most definitely.
And this is 2 of many more to come from Benchmade, so super excited on what they're going to produce as well as the rest of the companies. We will
Yeah.
probably have some Gonzo episodes coming up with SHOT Show and things like
it's
that.
gonna happen
most definitely.
soon.
Tis the season, boys and girls. Tis
absolutely.
the season.
Getting
So,
a little
yeah.
chaotic.
Yeah, I think that should be pretty good on our wrap up on these new guys from Benchmade.
They exist. We have
Yep.
them in Canada.
It's awesome. And speaking of having them in Canada, thank you, Cutting Edge, so much.
Yes.
Oh my God.
got on it quick.
Yeah.
Like in
Like,
all,
holy crap.
in all of
That
North
was
America,
fast.
we got on the train before many people got
Yep.
on the train.
I'll be surprised if anybody has one other than the few that.
Mhm.
500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worldwide. And so,
Yeah.
on top of that, we probably are right on the cusp of, if not cracking that $500, 500 member on Instagram. Sorry,
That's it.
$500.
Head on over there. Check out how we're doing the giveaway. All the information is going to be through our Instagram. Make sure that you're following both us on Instagram as well as on YouTube.
Yep.
That's going to be a part of it. So
Yep. Yeah, we're about half our subscribers on YouTube compared to the Instagram, so we know not all of you are doing that. So
And
subscribe
not
on YouTube too.
not everyone does Instagram
Both,
and YouTube
right.
and
Yep,
whatever else.
That's
I
cool,
get it,
cool. But 500 on YouTube is the next giveaway coming after we
Mhm.
finish this one. So
that's
Yeah.
it.
the more
Well-
you bump on here, the more you bump on there, the
Yeah,
more
well-
everyone.
Technically, the next giveaway we're going to be doing is on Patreon for
Damn.
our first donator.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
it.
The donator.
Yeah, the donator.
The donator.
Yeah,
you will
head
be
over
redeemed.
to
Crappy 80s movie.
so yeah, head on over to the Patreon and see if you can still be the first one and snag up that prize, and see what other behind the scenes goodies we can get to you.
Lots of goodies, even if you don't get in for that first place ticket.
Yep.
That's it.
There's many more to come. For
Mhm.
sure, guys.
So yeah, that being that, this is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
I'm exile.ca.
We will catch you again next week.
We don't need bigger knife. Yeah.